Hello, my name is Zoe Ziegler, and I will be discussing today how educators, much like myself, can create classrooms where EL students feel supported, welcomed, and included through culturally responsive instruction and meaningful family connections. For the first question, what are cultural influences on teaching and learning? What is cultural competency and its role in the instructions of ELs? How can EL's cultural values and beliefs be integrated appropriately in the context of teaching and learning? I believe that teaching and learning can be shaped and influenced by students' cultural identity, communication or language usage, family values, and their prior educational background. These influences can affect how students process information, interact with their peers and educators, as well as understand the expectations of the classroom. Cultural competency is educators' responsibility to successfully teach diverse students with respect, value, and understanding on how to respond appropriately to the various needs of all students, according to Moore in 2021. It is very important to incorporate students' cultures and backgrounds into the class, as this shows the students that their educator, myself, cares for them and shows they are valued and welcomed into the classroom. This can be done by including multicultural texts and stories, connecting the content to the individual student's experiences or interests, and inviting students to include their cultures or backgrounds in projects or when speaking to the class if they feel comfortable. This can help make the learning more fun and engaging, as well as reflecting student belonging. Question 2 asks, what is the role of culture in student learning? How do school and classroom environments influence language acquisition, and what steps are necessary to create an inclusive environment? Culture can affect how a student learns, how they show respect and communicate, and differ what they consider success to look like. For EL students, cultural context can also shape their language skills and how it is acquired, as this can influence their language norms, values, and identity. A supportive school environment can accelerate the language skills when the student feels safe, welcomed, and valued. According to the educators team at Understood, creating an inclusive classroom and supportive classroom can start with getting to know your students, their likes, dislikes, strengths, and weaknesses. Once these are identified, the educator can then adjust the content or ways of teaching that fit the student's needs, their strengths, and is able to be understood by all students while still showing cultural competency and respect. Question 3 asks, what are some strategies for supporting and celebrating cultural diversity within instruction? What are some strategies for leveraging home language and cultural assets? There are a variety of ways to celebrate and support the cultural diversity of the classroom, using multicultural texts, examples from other cultures, acknowledging and celebrating the holidays of other cultures, and inviting students to contribute artifacts or stories can be easy ways that educators can celebrate and support their diverse students without even realizing it. Educators can build assignments that allow students to include pieces of their cultural or background to help promote the inclusion and celebration of all students. To leverage the students' home language and their cultural assets, this requires the educator to promote bilingual use of language rather than forcing an English-only classroom. Strategies for this can include allowing students to brainstorm their ideas in their home language, labeling common classroom items in both English and the variety of languages that are spoken in the classroom, or dictionaries or bilingual glossaries can be helpful as well. These can help empower the students by affirming their home linguistic identity and promote conceptual understanding. Question 4 covers, what are some strategies for responsiveness to the different strengths, needs, and identities of all EL students, including special needs? What are some opportunities and approaches to meet the social and emotional needs of ELs? I believe that responsiveness in teaching first requires getting to know your students, their literacy levels, interests, strengths, culture, prior knowledge, and successful learning strategies are all helpful previous information. Educators should differentiate the instructions and content through scaffolds, visual supports, and sentence frames, for example, to help a diverse body of students and fit a variety of strengths and needs of those students, according to Ortiz. For EL students with learning disabilities, collaboration with special education teachers or intervention specialists is essential for ensuring students do not get mislabeled, avoid confusing language acquisition, and help get the appropriate student support needed as soon as possible. To help foster the social and emotional needs of EL students, peer connections, collaborative learning opportunities, and consistent and predictable routines are strategies to help. Opportunities such as morning meetings, discussion circles, and designated safe sharing spaces can help allow the students to feel safe within the classroom, included and valued. Question 5 asks, what is the importance of understanding the social, emotional, and cultural needs of students when establishing classroom routines and procedures? Classroom routines and procedures are the unspoken rules and expectations for that individual classroom. For an educator to implement effective routines and procedures, they must understand the needs and abilities of their students first, as when these are considered, the routines will be effective within the classroom and promote student learning as well as fit the diverse needs and interests of all students. Having this kind of background knowledge will then allow the educator to create routines that promote psychological safety of students, help to reduce anxiety, and support proper language use, according to Brahm in 2024. When routines respect the cultural and social emotional needs of all students, such as allowing wait times for student responses, structuring collaborative interactions with guided support, and modeling respectful dialogue, the students can feel more engaged in the academic tasks and feel more comfortable participating, prevent misunderstandings from happening, and build trust and respect within the classroom. Question 6 asks, how might family and community practices, or funds of knowledge, influence language learning? Funds of knowledge refers to the previous education or backgrounds of each individual student, according to the educator's team at Understood. This means that students bring incredible previous knowledge and experiences to their classrooms and should be viewed as an asset. These assets, such as traditions, values, religious practices, or storytelling skills, can enrich the students' language learning. When educators connect new content to these previous experiences or backgrounds, the student can feel more engaged or motivated to learn, as they have a background understanding to connect it to. What are some strategies to build and foster strong family, community, and school partnerships? What are effective family engagement practices that support and highlight the assets of home languages, including communication, family involvement, and providing intentional strategies for families of ELs? What are some inclusive community engagement practices? Effective and positive partnerships between the school, families, and community is incredibly important and requires consistent, clear, and direct communication from all parties. Strategies to successfully do this can include translating materials and all forms of communication accurately and appropriately and sending home bilingual newsletters, according to the Ohio Department of Education in 2025. Family involvement increases when schools invite the families to share their cultural practices or attend classroom events or workshops. Educators can also help to celebrate their multicultural families by inviting them to a multicultural reading night or parent-led storytelling. These also help to support and highlight the assets of home language and communication between the families and the school. Inclusive partnerships within the community can also bring the community and the school closer together, showing that the school takes pride and values their community members. This can look like a school hosting a multicultural community member night, public libraries collaborating on providing more translated resources, or after-school events that celebrate other cultures, events, or holidays together. These partnerships can help families feel confident and valued in their school and help navigate and understand the expectations for their student and to help everyone succeed in their role. These are my responses to the questionnaires. Thank you.